Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another video. I'm here heading north to Kill Bear Provincial Park. Pretty rainy day, but I set aside the time to paint, so I'm gonna go and paint. After that last video, I think the things that went wrong with that painting, well, I didn't set enough time for the painting, so I rushed, and then at the end, I kind of got impatient and didn't finish it because I had to get out of that campsite. So that's something I learned from last time. I've got to make sure I can spend, 3 or 4 hours on a sketch if it's in oil. I might not do oil this time. I think I'm going to try to do watercolor. Painting in oil has made me realize a couple differences that I want to examine. I can pretty much draw most things I see. I could draw one of those trees or a few of those trees. If I wanted to translate all of those trees into a sketch, it's not going to translate the way paint could do it. That has made me realize that painting is almost a bit more artistic. The reason I say artistic, with painting you could paint all of those trees, but you have to simplify. That's what I'm going to try to focus on with this painting. Designing and responding. Wow, look at that awesome yellow. That is amazing. That's the thing about coming up into Ontario. Not that this is really north, but north of Simcoe County, Toronto, that kind of thing, just get this amazing color at this time of year.
It's a cliche, but a tree on the rock is called the tree, and I'm sure it's been painted and drawn many times, but it's just so picturesque. There it is. Oh, they've got some other poles up there beside it, but yeah, it's a special spot. Oh, I didn't realize I'm camped right in front of it. This is a good spot. It's hard to do this. Like, by the time you get set up, no matter what I do, I'm always sort of stressed out. It's not like when you're at home in a studio or in your, living room or wherever. You're out in nature, but this is nothing like a lot of great artists from before that had a lot rougher terrain and rougher accommodations. It's still really hard to keep. I'm really shy when I see people. My immediate reaction is to just close the door or panic. I'm trying to forget about all that and just draw. Just a loose red outline. I might just try to paint it with ink quickly. It gets dark so early these days in the fall. It's the problem. The fall's beautiful, but yeah, it's not even 6:30. I went with this black because as the light goes down, I can still sketch. I like the side of the brush, but it makes everything look a little too hairy. You need some crisp, clean edges in here. I'll try to find some spots where I can clean up some edges and give it some crispness. These brushes are really handy for quick sketches. Okay, well, all things considered, I'm not too unhappy with this sketch. So I think I might just try to stay here as much as I can tomorrow and paint this scene again. But I'm glad I got one in finished for the night. And I think to unwind, I'm just going to have a walk. The rain finally stopped, so I'll see you later. I think it was a good choice to use ink. The black makes me make quick decisions. I can't fiddle with things. I don't have the choice of color. I don't have the choice of getting a really kind of too much into detail. I just have to do what I can with that brush and make me focus on the composition. So overall, I'm glad I did that, but tomorrow I'm excited to get into some color. Soup should be ready. Beef barley. Let's see. Getting there. Another minute or two. This is the GSI, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's a GSI thin stove. I was really excited to get it, and then it kind of got bad reviews. What I really like about it is there's quite a bit of space here between the burner and the grill. The problem with that is that it's less efficient. If you've ever tried to cook anything on a camp stove, the problem isn't really I mean, efficiency is important, but it just burns the crap out of everything. So that space is kind of good in terms of not burning your stove too much. Even though I'm pretty chill as far as, you know, being here at night, every little moving thing I still feel like, is that a bear? Hits the spot. The rain pretty much stopped. The trees are still kind of dripping, but overall it's a nice night. It's not too cold. All right, well, I'm all packed in for the night. I'm kind of ridiculous. I always bring too many books. I've been reading this book, Defiant Spirits, by Ross King, about the Group of Seven. It's really good. It's shifted my thinking about painting. Growing up in Canada, all we ever heard about was the Group of Seven. It was basically the only art that ever existing in Canada. Like, that was the narrative when I was in school, and I think for a lot of other people. So you get really tired of the Group of Seven. But now that I'm out here painting, and I'm looking at their painting differently, and I'm way more interested in their stories, and this book really just brings it to life. It starts by kind of telling the origin story of like each member, including Tom Thompson, even though he wasn't technically in the Group of Seven. I just feel really lucky to be here in Ontario, where we have the McMichael and the AGO and places to go visit those sketches and paintings. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. Another book that I found, this is kind of huge, but really helped me think about painting, this A.J. Casson, My Favorite Watercolors, 1919 to 1957. This book, it was expensive, and I found it in a used bookstore. It goes through and has a little paragraph by A.J. Casson, and then it talks about the watercolor. But he talks about his palette in here and sort of his philosophy in painting. So I'm going to look at this, my bedtime reading. Rain is coming down. I do have a couple leaks in here. It is definitely better than a tent, but not perfect yet. I have this leak in my roof, so that's annoying. It's right above where I sleep. See what I can do for that tonight. All right, see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I didn't get a great sleep last night. The roof was leaking, so I threw a tarp over the roof in the middle of the night. It is still raining, so I don't have too many options of what I want to paint. I think I'm going to paint that same scene I drew yesterday and just try to use some watercolor, because I don't really feel like getting into oil. For now, making some coffee. Even though it's raining, you can't really beat making your morning coffee and just sitting in bed. I love this little camper. It's kind of like a snail house, or a backpack or something. I just throw all my stuff in here, and yeah, it's not much bigger than a tent. The walls being square, I can fit a lot of stuff in here. It keeps me pretty dry and pretty warm, so yeah, pretty good place to wake up. Okay, so I did my initial sketch. I think I got into some details, and I haven't really designed the sketch enough. I feel like it's okay, but the tree doesn't have enough, the height I want it to. It's not as high in the sky and not as elongated. I'm not sure if this should have been maybe a vertical orientation. What I'm going to do now is take the kneadable eraser, lighten up my pencil sketch, and then try to design the painting a bit more. That's what I think I've been doing wrong with my paintings, is I haven't been designing the shapes to be painted. Because in drawing I could get in there, noodle away, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to make a strong shape statement, almost like paint by number, just creating all these shapes where I'm going to then do my watercolor over top. Okay, so this picture I think is pretty applicable. Simple, clear tree, no noodling of foliage. That's something I would do with drawing, and I'm trying to get away from that. So clear shapes, simple, really simple geometric shapes. I don't normally erase, but this is a different thing for me. I want to really make these shapes easy and clear. So I think I'm finished my sketch. I am going to try to finish this painting here while I'm still at the campsite. I have to check out at 2, so I don't have too much longer. It's not as perfectly clean as I want it to be, but I'm kind of happy with it. It is looking a bit AJ Casson-esque, which I'm okay with. I heard this quote recently that to get to the other side of generic, if you think of it like a train, you have to stop at all the generic stops before you get to somewhere new. I'm okay with my paintings looking like someone else's for now. I'm going to try to, this is one stop along the way of me learning to paint, and if it looks like AJ Casson, then I'm doing something right. I wouldn't say it's quite even close yet. The drawing has a lot more shape to it than what I've tried to do previously. So yeah, I'm going to try to paint. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm all wrapped up, gotta make the drive back home. Thanks for joining me on this painting trip, and I'll see you in the next one.